Greetings, my name is Christina Shudd, and I am proud to be the Museum Director for the Mosaic Templars Cultural Center. We are so excited to announce that Mosaic Templars Cultural Center is now a nationally accredited museum by the American Alliance of Museums. We join as the 9th Black Culture Museum in the United States to be nationally accredited. To help celebrate, we'll be sharing stories throughout the next few months that talk about our great educational programs, like the Say It Ain't Say Sweet Potato Pie Contest, our school field trip visits, Arkansas Made Black Crafted vendors, and a host of other things, including sharing some behind the scenes from our collection.
Hi, my name is Kristen Stanley. I'm the Director of Education here at the Mosaic Templars Cultural Center. We are really glad to be able to come into your homes and be able to visit with you that way. Just wanted to share a little bit about some of our new program that we started this Black History Month in February. We got to talk about some STEM stars or African Americans from Arkansas who did amazing things in the field of STEM. So, got a couple of people to talk about. Let's see who it is. All right, we have Dorothy McFadden Hoover. Dorothy was born in Hope, Arkansas in 1918. And as we know, that's a time in Arkansas where there was segregation. When people were kept separate, she would have had to go to a separate high school, but she finished by the time she was 15, was able to go on to college in Pine Bluff, and became a mathematician. She loved numbers. One of the ways that she used that information was to help build and design airplanes. She was on the team that figured out that the best shape for an airplane is actually a triangle. It'll make the plane go really, really fast. So I have a little experiment for us. Go and get a couple pieces of paper, and you can do it along with us. We have a couple different types of airplanes. You can fold them however you want, but make sure they're different. See how this one's kind of neat? It's got extra folds, and it's shaped cool. And got this one, I just did a real simple paper airplane shaped like a triangle. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna test and see which one flies the best, whether it's cool jet shape or whether it's simple triangle. So let's do the jet first. Here we go. Didn't do so well. Let's try our triangle. Oh, all right. So you can see that part of the team that Dorothy was on figured out that that simple triangle was going to be the absolute best way to design a plane to make it go fast and far. All right, the second STEM star that we have to talk about today is Isaac Gilliam the fourth. And so Isaac Gilliam was an aeronautical engineer. That just means that he designed things that fly. So he started his career in the Air Force, learning how to be a pilot. And so he learned a lot about planes and how they fly. And he took that knowledge plus his knowledge as an aeronautical engineer into his next career for NASA. At NASA, he had an awesome job. The first job he had was to send rockets into space with satellites. And the second job that he had was to make sure that all of the astronauts could take off and then land safely in their space shuttles. Now, all of that takes a lot of knowledge about how to fly. All right, so I have an experiment that we're gonna do, but I want you, if you're gonna try this one at home, you need to be really careful. We don't put bags over our heads, and we don't breathe into bags and put them over our mouths. But we can use our air to move them around. Make sure that your adults are around to help you with this one. So obviously with all of that experience in flying things, Mr. Gilliam would have known a lot about air and how it helps those things fly through the sky. Now, one of those things that we're going to test is using this bag. Now, super long, I think it's about 8 feet long, and who thinks that I can blow it up in 3 breaths? 3? Let's see what I can do. All right. I didn't make it. So this is all the air that was in my lungs in 3 breaths. That's okay, but it's not 8 feet long, right? So let's try again. And let's use some of that knowledge that Mr. Gilliam would have had about air and how it works. So, same thing, 3 breaths. All right, so what he knew was that whenever you hold your mouth back a little bit from the opening, you can use not just the air in your lungs, but also the air that's all around you. And that moves all of it inside the bag really quickly, which is how I got it so full in just 3 breaths. All right, so we've kind of learned a little bit about how air works. And another thing that you can do with air is to move things. Now, we filled the bag, that was cool, but we can also make toilet paper move just using air. So let's see here. It would make sense to just try to like blow it off of there, right? Okay, but you can also lift it, which is kind of how an airplane flies, right? You lift it into the sky. So let's see.
Ooh, that's kind of cool.
Do you want to help me out then?
Yes.
All right, so let's see here. I'll have you hold that way.
And I can't believe this is just a paint roller and a tube of toilet paper, right?
That's right. And I'm using...
Which I feel like it's a precious commodity these days.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we got this.
Don't be wasting toilet paper.
Okay, I'm gonna roll it back up and put it on the roll for you.
Okay, good. Okay, good. So I'm using a leaf blower, but we also could use a hairdryer or a fan or anything that you wanted to use that pushes air pretty quickly. So, wanna see what happens?
Okay, yes.
Right, here we go.
Ready.
Whoa! All right. So, even faster than the cat can get it off of the toilet paper roll, you can use air to move things through the sky. The last thing that I'm going to demonstrate for you today is a little bit about how clouds might be formed. Now, of course, we learned a little bit about how things would fly and what air does. Well, some of the things that when you go outside and you look up in the sky that you see in the air are clouds. Now, we talk about clouds and we think that they're kind of like, they look like cotton or they look like a blanket or they look like something really soft and fluffy, but really all it is water, right? And it's water that's not like the kind that's in a bottle that you can drink, but it's water that's suspended in the sky. And so let's see if we can get this water to do that, to be suspended inside the bottle. Okay, so this one's dangerous, and I don't want anybody to try to make this one at home unless your parents know exactly how to do it. This should not be something that I let kids do. This should not be something that anybody tries by themselves, okay? And to prove that, I have my goggles to make sure that I don't get hit in the face if anything bad would happen. So, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the pump and we are going to put air inside and make the bottle really tight. So you can see how right now it's squishy, right? There's room in there for me to push on the sides. But if I start pumping air inside, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, it's feeling really tight. See, I can't push on the sides anymore. I'll give it one more pump. Oh, can't even do that. All right, here we go. And I'm gonna let the top off. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Look what we made. So all of that water that was down in the bottom is now suspended up inside the bottle. All right, so now you can kind of see how that water would become a cloud in the sky. It's pretty cool, huh? So there's all kinds of things that you can learn about in science, but we want to remind you that there's also lots of cool things in history that can lead you to other fun things. So remember, we talked about Dorothy Hoover and we talked about Isaac Gilliam IV, and both of them were STEM stars from right here in Arkansas.